Yo everyone, welcome to part 2 of our look at the HSL or Hue, Saturation and Luminance panel of either Lightroom, Camera Raw or pretty much any editor out there. In part 1 we looked at how we can use the HSL panel to adjust and fine tune the colours of our images. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll throw a link down below so you can go check it out. Today we're going to look at how the HSL panel of our software can help us create black and white images. When our software converts a color image over to a black and white, all it's basically is doing is stripping away the color from the images and just revealing the brightness of those colors were. So for example, if you had a dark red in the image, it would just strip away the color and just leave a dark gray behind, or a bright blue, it would just strip away the blue and leave just a bright gray behind. So we'll have a quick look at our cube here. Took a photo of this just a little while ago, and we'll have a look at how messing around in the HSL can change these colors here into different types of grey. Here's our cube that I promised you before, but you can see we have the colors here, red, green and blue, and they're all very similar in sort of brightness. So up here where we have treatment, we have color and we have black and white, so we choose black and white. As you can see, we stripped away the color and pretty much all these squares are very similar in greys, but it makes a sort of a bit of a dull picture. We hop over to our HSL. You'll see we still have our reds through to our magentas here, but we've got rid of hue, saturation and luminance, and we just only have one choice now, which is basically luminance. We can adjust our colors lighter or darker. As you can see, those are our red squares. We can change the tone of them, the lightness or darkness of the grey, by sliding the slider backwards and forwards. So in this case, I might want to make those red squares a nice bright colour. If we pop down to the blue, because remember there were some blue squares here, I can darken them off, make them black. And we also had green squares, which is this one here, and we could maybe just darken them a little bit. And now, as you can see, we have nice tonal separation, a much more dynamic image, as we've got bright squares, dark squares and sort of something in between. So you can imagine how powerful this could be when we can apply this to our color images as we convert them to black and white. For example, blue skies could be darkened or lightened, green grass could be brightened or darkened, and so forth. So let's have a look at a couple of images. So here we have a photo of my weekender. As you can see, I need a few repairs still. We pop over, we click the black and white, head over to our HSL, and to make it sort of more dramatic, we might want to darken our blue sky. So we can grab our blue slider here and we can darken off the sky. Also, remember our tip from our last video? We can grab our target up here and then we can click on our sky and go left to darken it or right to lighten it. And you can see we're using on there, you can see it was mostly the blue slider moving around. We also have some green grass down here. We might brighten that up, so we can do this with a click. It goes left to lighten it up a bit, so we can brighten up our green grass. We can look at these trees in the background, maybe we want to darken them a little bit. Or we can just use the slider over here, darken off the trees a little. And I think we've got a nice look here now. That was a fairly simple example with just darkening the blue sky and lightening the grass a little. How about we look at another image? So here we have a photo, 3 main colours in it. We've got our green building, our blue car and our red car. Now what happens when we turn this to a black and white? All the tones just also start melting together. Very similar. So we can head over to our HSL panel again and we can do the same thing we did with the Rubik's Cube. We can lighten up those reds, so we have a light red car. We could use the blues and we could darken off the blue car and the sky at the same time. And with the green building, we could even lighten that or darken that as well. Might be easier with a targeted tool in this case, because there must be something else in that green. And lighten it, that was quite a bit of cyan. Darken it, we can get ourselves some separation. I think actually I would like darker reds and brighter blues. And now we have a dark car, a bright car, and a halfway grey building, kind of like the halfway cafe it is. Pretty good example of how we've used the HSL to sort of move our coloured tones around so that we get a more interesting black and white. Just a quick video today just to show you how you can convert your colour images into black and white using the HSL. Give it a go yourself, grab yourself a colour image, one with a few different types of colours in it, some reds, some greens, some blues and so forth, and play around, have a go. You'll find it's quite a powerful tool. Until next time, thank you. Bye. You can also hit the targeted